This evening we are celebrating what's going on, and what's going on is much larger than where we are right now and is affecting us. This is Scott Nicolay.
Thank you, Larry. Well, I'm going to read one long poem, I think, medium-length poem, and I'm going to basically deal with one issue in this poem since we are dealing with poetry and politics. I don't see politics, I don't even believe in politics. I believe in social justice. You know, people talk about politics, you get caught up in a lot of rhetoric, which is what happens when you talk about poetry sometimes too. It's just a question of you see things and they're either wrong or right, and if you think they're wrong, and then you have to do something about them. One of the things I've seen in Albuquerque, which I think is right, is some very good art, and one of the things I think is wrong is that it's being destroyed. And what I'm talking about is graffiti art. I'll give you a little sample right here. This is, can you get a close-up of this?
Yeah.
This is done in the back of my book here by a 17-year-old artist from the South Valley. This way?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Thank you. And it's my name up here in this corner.
All right, which corner?
Right here. Yes, it says Scott. You see? Yeah.
Zero it. Okay.
Okay. And you can read it. And then down at the bottom, under this attractive lady who's holding the gun, right down over here, it says Nick, which is what the students, when I was substitute teaching, called me Mr. Nick. And this was done by a 17-year-old artist in the South Valley. His name is Faze. And he's facing possible jail sentence for spray painting in the arroyos, if you can believe that. And so this is a poem. Last winter I was taken by some graffiti artists to a place up in the North Valley under the Mesa, which they call the Monolithics. And it was an incredible place. It's all destroyed now. But I was really impressed by it, and I wrote a poem about that, and that's what I'm going to read for you now. And this is dedicated to poet, image, method, shock, MC Rock, Imagine, Doc, Agree, Wisdom, Tank, Cast One, Boots, Jazz, Mac 10, Pee Wee, Giant, and Faze, and all the great crews of Albuquerque, NTC, PCP, UCT, ANG, ATK, CWK, RSH, and especially AAK. Some of the best artists in Albuquerque have to work at night, outdoors. Poet showed me some of his work on a wall facing I-40 from the south, just west of the Pennsylvania intersection. Said, there were 4 of us, all dressed in black, like ninjas. I had black pants and shoes and a black sweat jacket. Didn't you get cold, I asked. No, I was too into it to notice. For 4 hours they worked on it before the police showed up and they had to run. One guy tripped over a railroad tie behind the Mormon church and came down hard, but he got up and kept moving. Some of the best artists in Albuquerque work looking over their shoulders. One time in Westgate, we got beat up by vigilantes. We were writing when they came after us and caught us and beat us up and kicked us and sprayed us in the face with our own paint. I asked them, were they a gang or something like that? No, they were adults. They were vigilantes. Some of the best artists in Albuquerque have long labored under a vicious dilemma. The most desirable walls are the most visible, but they're also the most dangerous. But some of the best artists in Albuquerque have found a place where they can work without being hassled. They have found the Monolithics. No one knows what it was supposed to have been, a hospital, an apartment complex, or a high-rise hotel. Whatever it was, it never got off the ground, and that's all there is, the foundation. A graffiti artist's paradise, in the literal sense, a walled garden or a private preserve. Endless pillars, stanchions, elevator shafts, and writing everywhere. And murals. Murals made up of composite panels, murals 80 feet long. Agree loves LaShawn, complete with 6-foot teenage mutant ninja turtle. I couldn't believe it. It blew me away, and I am not even a writer. Do you write? Asked Imagine. Oh yeah, I said, I write poems and short stories. Just Saturday I did a reading in Santa Fe. Oh, he says, too polite to correct the mistake that I am just now realizing as I answered him. An 80-foot mural. How long it must have taken him. This place is a gallery and a museum. It's a coffee house. The artists can work here. Most of them have never met here. See here, I've never met before, I'm sorry. See here, MC Rock wrote this. Nice poet, stay cool. We write back and forth to each other, but we never met before until we came here to the Monolithics. Poet is anxious to tell image. Tensor tips are best. No drips, that's what the doc says. And look at the lines, so clean. Today, 2 artists work while I am there, drawing an angry wizard from a comic book. They step back so I can shoot their work in progress, but they won't let me take their picture because they think I'm from the cops. They laugh when I offer, but decline. Their art's the only face they'll show. And 10,000 years from now, when the rest of the city has been obliterated by a nuclear strike on Kirtland Air Force Base, archaeologists will speculate. But for now, beneath the petroglyphs, the artists have found the monoliths. They can pull their cars right down inside and play the stereos while they paint. And if they stay all night, they'll still be safe. Well, here are some photos of the monolithics. Thank you, Dave. Can you get it close in? This says TNG. It's top-notch graphics. This was done by Doc and a couple other artists. This is another one by the Doc. The Doc is from a crew called ATK, the All Time Kings.
In Albuquerque?
This is all in Albuquerque. These are all destroyed now. The monolithics has been completely vandalized by... There's so much competition between artists for space that they end up vandalizing their own works. That says Doc. With a K, he added the K. I think it stands for King. And this is a picture of the wizard that I talked about those guys doing in the poem. This is a close-up from a much larger mural.
How big are these?
Well, this one's about, I'd say 7 feet high. The ones I showed are, I'll say, good 15 feet long. Here's one of the best ones if you can get, this is really, you can get in close to that. And that says Doc again, and the face is the O. And the D and the C are behind his ears. And these are really incredible. They've all been destroyed. And here's another one that's mentioned in the poem also. It says Doc, and there's a big Ninja Turtle type character. It's not exactly a Ninja Turtle. And unfortunately, right now, our Mayor Saavedra, has initiated a program called Operation Bright Sides, in which he's giving out free paint to anyone who would like to paint over graffiti. And of course, there are no public, there actually are a couple public spaces where these artists are allowed to work without being hassled. Certain private enterprises have donated space. Circle K allowed 2 murals to be done, one in Westgate and another on Rio Grande Boulevard in the North Valley. Those were done. I tried to get permission for another crew to do one, but Circle K right now is not doing any more. On I-40, just west of Carlisle on the south side of I-40, are a whole series of new plaques done by a variety of crews, and whoever owns that wall, I'm not sure who it is giving permission for the artists to work there. That's, if anybody wants to drive, just drive out I-40 on the south side, just west of the Pennsylvania overpass, is an incredible mural done by Doc and Nicolay. It's called East Meets West, although it's somebody has done another mural over the top of that one since then, but that was in the newspaper. Some people got to see that. And over on the west side, there's one on a big water tank that says "Buckle Up" for people without their seatbelts.
From the Northeast that are doing these?
There are young people from all over the city. Every quadrant of the city, people are doing it. Most of the artists that I've worked with gone out with them and taken photos of their work with them there, are from the South Valley, because that's where I was a substitute teacher, and I met a lot of them at that time. And they would always ask me, "Do you plaque? Do you plaque? You know, do you do these?" And I said, "No, I just take the pictures." And I would take the pictures and I would give them away to the artists. And I've given away photos, to whole classrooms. Given away a whole roll of film in one shot like that. It's a great teaching aid. You can really get the students' attention when you show them stuff. So I don't know. What I would like to urge is for everybody to write to Mayor Saavedra and ask him if he's going to continue Operation Bright Sides, which is going to destroy, writing and graffiti tagging and gang writing, which is nobody really wants that on their wall or their car or whatever. If he's going to continue with that program, he should try and discourage people from destroying murals, and he should work to get businesses and the city to donate public space for these artists to work on, so that they won't have to compete, destroy each other's art, and they won't have to face getting their art destroyed. I mean, this is serious art. These people they carry 200 cans of spray paint down the wall of an arroyo, and paint there, facing at any time the possibility that the police are going to come and chase them, that they might be beaten by vigilantes, and they'll spend the whole day, usually working at night, working on one of these murals. And it's not vandalism, it's art. And it's an international art style. You can see, in fact, I can show you in this book, murals done. And if you think this has no connection with poetry, I'm missing the point, because this is poetry. And most of these people call themselves writers. For instance, these murals here, if you can get a close-up of any of those. These are from, they look like probably, where would you guess? What city?
5 minutes.
Amsterdam.
No, well, here's some idea of the international. These are from New Zealand, Auckland, New Zealand, if you can believe that. And the Maori youths down there have taken to the graffiti art. It's all around the world. And it's coming to Albuquerque. A lot from LA. It's the big influences from LA. And in LA, there are places where the artists can work legally, like MacArthur Park. But in Albuquerque, only a few places. The Monoliths was one place where the owner had given permission, but now there's been such competition, everything's been destroyed there. So, well, I don't really have time to read a nickel poem. And I'd really rather talk about graffiti because I'm sad that all these things are getting destroyed. Okay. So call Mayor Saavedra and tell him to make space available for people to do murals and stop Operation Bright Sides. Okay, and I'll let Larry read some posts. Thank you.